So you want to do stuff with your life. I get it, me too. You're balancing career, meetings, schoolwork, appointments, emails, and goals. A lot of things. Organizing them and keeping track of them is difficult. And you feel like there must be a better way. I know because that was me 6 years ago when I first started learning about journaling and productivity. I've tried several tools, Obsidian, Notion, habit trackers, to-do app, calendars, and eventually I realized the exact tools matter a lot less than the principles behind it. In this video, I'm going to break down the 6 years of journaling knowledge I have and the system I use adapted from bullet journaling so you can apply it to your own life. More importantly, I'm going to break down what I think any productivity system needs to do. And for me, it comes down to 3 things: capture, migration, reflection. But why journal at all? See, journaling has been one of the most important habits I've developed over the last 5 years, and the reason why is awareness and mindfulness. To reach any objective, we need to set goals. But the issue is, most people think about goals setting as a linear thing. We set some goals, imagine we work towards them, and then 3 months later, either we've done it or we haven't. The issue with this is that if you're not on track, you only realize at this point at the end, so you only have 4 times a year to adapt. What I like about journaling is that it allows you to see what you've done each day and to see if that lines up with who you want to be. Instead of thinking about goals as linear, we can think about it as a loop, the capture of your goals and a reflection of them. And the faster you're able to complete this cycle, the more effectively you'll be able to live your life. From my experience, what writing stuff down allows you to do is concretely see what you've actually done instead of your perception of what you've done. So essentially, you can align your perception of yourself and your true self and make those as close together as possible. The other thing that journaling is good for is that we can only hold so many things in our head at one time. I think it's like 7. And because of that, you do need to write stuff down. And it reminds you of your goals, different tasks, and it helps you keep track of everything. So now let's get into how I actually apply the system. While I often use a paper journal for this, you can use whatever medium you want. And this is an example of a journal I had about a year ago. So the first part of the system is what I call the future log. As you can see, this gives you a high-level overview of your life and goals for the next 6 to 12 months. So you've got things like research placements or internships I'm planning to do, driving lessons in July. You've got specific dates of where I'm going to be, and you can put things like friends' birthdays or things you want to work towards. And this gives you an ability to essentially plan for your future. And you've got things like scholarship deadlines. So I might do specific projects to help my application more strong for that. And next, we've got the monthly log, and as you can see, we're planning things over each time scale. So you want something to keep track of your long-term goals, medium-term planning, and also short-term goals. So this is what lies in the middle. As you can see, this was my November in 2024. So you've got things like travels, plans with people, events that I'm going to be running, and deadlines. And what I like about this is that it helps me keep track of what I need to do, but also different memories. For example, the first dance shows I did on my year abroad, or a day trip to New York. We've also got potential habits that you can track. So for example, this is whether I'm scrolling at night or whether I just put my phone away. So you can see I've managed to do that about half of the days here. Then we've also got different to-dos here, and also high-level overviews for this month, such as I wanted to remind myself about not just chasing happiness, but chasing contentment, and also looking at a venture capital club at my university. And then finally, we have the lowest level of the time scale. We've got the daily log. So here we do notes on whatever we want to do. And this is what you'll spend a lot of time on. Everything here is a bullet. And then the reason why I like that is because normally with journaling, when you're writing in sentences or paragraphs, it can feel hard to start or hard to stop. But the thing is, each bullet is just one self-contained piece of information, which makes it very easy. And there's 3 core types of bullets. So if you've got tasks, which are a dot, and then when they're finished, you can cross them out. You've also got notes. It can be like what happened today or different things. So you've just got notes, and then you've also got events, which are circles. What I really like about this journaling system is that it allows me to capture like what I've done each day, like very quickly, but also it's easy to reflect. Like I can go through these different months, I can go through like the future log and see what's happening, and at every level of how I'm going to be thinking about my life, I've got information I want to look at. Another thing that's useful in a system like this, beyond capture and reflection, is also something called migration. If you think about all the tasks that somebody needs to do, you might have 5 to 10 a day, and that quickly adds up. And prioritization is something that's difficult to do. That's where migration comes in. So at the end of a day or a week, you look at what you've captured, and then you can decide whether it's worth it or not. And either, like at the end of a month, you can, for example, move it to your next monthly page. So for example, here I've got getting a haircut, which I've moved over from the previous month, or you can just cancel it. Say I wanted to call Sam, but I don't think that's that important anymore. Just cross that out. But there are some limitations. I found that while I really like this system, it takes me a bit of effort to maintain, especially when writing down tasks manually over like a few different pages. You might lose track of something, and it forces you to be disciplined with actually like carrying around the physical notebook and using it. So what I've done is I actually created an app that systemizes this whole process. It's called Jotted. You have control over your data, and it's made to replicate this experience as closely as possible. So all of the information you write will be stored as text files, so there's no need to export, import. It's just a text file. And also like the whole process has been streamlined based on my experience to be as smooth as possible and also just look nice. I hope that you found this video useful. If so, leave a comment on what journaling methods you find most useful. And remember those core 3 principles of capture, migration, and reflection.